They deserve to be poor because. Let me stop you right there, champ. That's the lie capitalism is drilled into your brain, and it's time we shatter it. No one deserves to be poor. That's a myth. A lie designed to protect the system that's bleeding us dry. Let's break it down. Let's use reason, evidence, and the moral force of the Enlightenment to pull back the curtain on this sickening narrative. The Enlightenment was a time of awakening. It gave us the tools to challenge the old world order, monarchy, feudalism, oppression. Thinkers like Voltaire, Rousseau, and Locke helped build the intellectual foundation for the idea that all men are created equal, that everyone has inherent worth, and that the purpose of government is to serve the common good. But capitalism has built a world where people have been convinced that poverty is deserved, that the system is fair, that those who are poor are somehow morally inferior, lazy, or undeserving of basic rights. Let me tell you, this is not Enlightenment thinking. This is brainwashing. Let's talk about that word, deserve. What does it even mean in the context of poverty? Capitalism tells us that the rich are rich because they've earned it, that they work harder, are smarter, or just deserve the wealth. But let's flip that logic. If the rich deserve to have all the wealth, then by that same logic, the poor must deserve to suffer. They must deserve to be hungry, homeless, and struggling. But that's nonsense. The only thing the poor deserve is a system that allows them to survive and thrive. They don't deserve to be poor. No one does. Poverty is not a character flaw. It's a system flaw. It's the result of a system that prioritizes profit over people. Capitalism doesn't care about human dignity. It cares about control. It's a system designed to concentrate wealth in the hands of the few, while keeping the majority struggling, distracted, and divided. And what's the easiest way to do that? Convince people that poverty is deserved. That if you're poor, it's because you did something wrong. It's a cruel narrative designed to maintain the status quo, to make the powerless believe they have no right to challenge the system. Let's dig into the reality of this. When we look at history, we see that wealth is rarely, if ever, evenly distributed. From the feudal lords to the modern-day billionaires, wealth has always been concentrated in the hands of a few. And the stories we've been told about the deserving rich and the undeserving poor are just that, stories. Narratives created to protect the powerful. In truth, poverty isn't about laziness or lack of effort. It's about the structure of society. It's about systemic inequalities that have been baked into capitalism. It's about a system that allows a handful of people to hoard resources while the rest of us are left to fight over crumbs. But what's worse? The fact that this narrative is perpetuated by the very same people who profit from the inequality. The billionaires, the corporations, the politicians. They're the ones who benefit from convincing us that poverty is deserved. Because as long as we believe that, we'll never question the system that keeps them rich. We'll never demand better. We'll never fight for the common good. The Enlightenment didn't teach us to accept the status quo. It taught us to challenge it, to imagine a world where reason, justice, and inequality triumph over greed and exploitation. And the idea that anyone deserves to be poor, that's a belief we need to eradicate. Because here's the thing. Capitalism has warped our minds into thinking that poverty is normal, inevitable, even deserved. But it's not. It's a choice. It's a choice made by the powerful to keep the system in place. But we don't have to accept it. So what do? First, we reject the idea that anyone deserves to be poor. No one deserves to suffer. No one deserves to live without the basic means to thrive. We must replace the narrative of deserved poverty with the truth. Poverty is a construct, and it's one we can dismantle. Second, we push for systemic change. We fight for policies that eliminate poverty, universal health care, universal basic income, worker solidarity, climate justice. We fight for a system that values human dignity over profit, a system that builds a society where everyone has the chance to flourish. We don't just need to fix the system. We need to break it open. We need to create a new world, one where the people are in control, not the billionaires, where wealth is shared, not hoarded, where we value people over profits. That's the world the Enlightenment envisioned, and that's the world we must create.